Just recently, KTM announced their new generation of the 690 SMCR, one of the most beloved high-performance supermotos out there. But is the KTM enough to take down the Ducati 698 Hypermotard? Today we're going to discuss what both bikes have to offer, do a breakdown, and figure out in the end which one I would choose and what I think each kind of rider would be best suited for each bike. I love discussing KTM and Ducati's rivalry because they both come from two completely different philosophies. KTM is just all about being a hooligan and just going out and having fun, while Ducati seems to have a philosophy more of a racing pedigree and more of a scalpel type precision, high performance, where the KTM just like go out there and have fun. Whenever you go onto KTM's website and check out the 690 SMCR, their main slogan behind this bike is "Stop Growing Up." Clearly, this bike is just to have fun. It's such a toy. And the cool thing is KTM has offered a lot of brand new things with this new 2026 690 SMCR. We're going to go over those and compare it to what the Ducati offers. The most exciting thing that KTM is going to offer for the 2026 that the KTM 690 has been so overdue for so long is its TFT display, its whole speedometer, kind of that unit has always looked so dated. It's always looked at least a decade old. And finally, they're offering a proper TFT display that looks super crisp, which Ducati also offers a very similar screen design. And, you know, going into 2026, I mean, you just have to have something that's technologically forward and is starting to look more cutting edge. Because if you look at past photos of the 690 SMCR, even just a year ago, I mean, for a bike that's coming out in 2025 to have tech that looks like it's from, say, 2012, 2014. It just doesn't sit right when you're paying that type of money. And although I feel like KTM is more of a hooligan type bike, their 690 SMCR is also coming with a track mode, which if you get a chance to read that, it's offering things like launch control, anti-wheelie mode, a slip adjuster, and motor slip regulation as well. So this bike, even though I think it's more of a hooligan, go out on the streets, do some wheelies, stoppies, you could take it on track and I bet you would perform super well. Now, what a lot of people care about is the power plant, and this new KTM 690 is claimed to make 79 horsepower and 73 foot-pounds of torque, which is just insane for a supermoto. I mean, I've had a KLX 300 supermoto and that made like 25. So you're looking at more than triple the horsepower with, it's going to weigh more, but when you're talking about tripling the horsepower output on a supermoto, you're getting into some crazy levels of power. So when you check out the Ducati 698 power plant, what's really interesting to me is that it only makes about 47 pound-feet of torque. Now, it may edge out the KTM in horsepower, but losing that much torque in a supermoto type platform is a really big deal. I mean, just being able to bust wheelies, having that torque for street riding, cutting between traffic, having the passing ability to just pass someone like that, losing, over 20 foot-pounds of torque is where you really start to understand that the Ducati is derived from, a super bike platform. Basically, the engine kind of was cut in half and they're using the single cylinder format of that race engine. And losing that much torque is really unfortunate because the Ducati, you're going to have to really rev out to get some of that power. One thing that I think is always relatively unbeatable with Ducati is simply, I think it's just a better looking supermoto. I don't know, you guys got to let me know down in the comments below. But whenever I compare the 698 and I look at the 690, I'm just like, KTM is still not quite there compared to Ducati with the looks. When researching data on the dry weights of both bikes, it looks like the Ducati is about 5 pounds lighter. It sits at 333 pounds dry weight, where the KTM's 338. So 5 pounds, that's pretty negligible. I don't think that's anything. It's nice to have less weight on a supermoto. Every pound does count, but 5 pounds isn't quite enough there. When we start talking about 20, 30, etc. Pound differences, that's where you're going to really notice a big difference in handling. But within 5 pounds, it's relatively negligible. Now, in regards to pricing, the new KTM 690 hasn't been officially revealed what they're going to be listing it at. But putting in some new effort into this new model, I'm sure KTM is going to be up over previous models. Probably going to look around $13,000, maybe $14,000 for this new SMCR. And that matches up pretty much with the Ducati. The Ducati right now for the base model is 13, and then if you want to get the RVE, it's like 15K. But what I always notice about KTMs and what's really nice is usually when they're sitting on the dealer floor for a little bit, they seem to come down. Where Ducatis, you go to their dealer, just the availability and kind of the allure behind the brand, typically you don't see those type of markdowns. But for example, I was looking at this 2024 690, and you can see it's a brand new bike. It's probably a leftover year, and it was supposed to be 13, and they have it listed right now for 10.6. So, you know, if you're trying to get, I think, your best bang, I would probably wait a year after the 26 690 SMCR is released. I'm sure some dealers will have them sitting on the floor and will be doing some markdowns on them. Compared to Ducati, I think out the door you're going to be a bit higher. But when we're discussing riders for each type of bike, I would say only go with the Ducati if you absolutely just love the looks and looks are really high up for you, as well as if you're going to be taking it on track. If you're going to be riding it on track, trying to get the best lap times, I think the Ducati might actually be a bit better than the KTM. While the KTM, if you just want to put a ton of miles on the street, do some hooligan stuff, and not feel so bad kind of doing those, you know, more rough supermoto type of riding, I think the KTM is going to take it a lot better, and you're going to get a better deal on it, so you're not out so much for the KTM. But yeah, KTM really stepped it up for 2026. I'm so excited to see they put that TFT display on their 690. And from here, the competition hopefully will just get fiercer, and we'll see Ducati put some big revisions on their 698 and continue to build the supermoto war. I hope some more manufacturers jump in, because there's no bike more fun than a supermoto. I love my Super Duke. I think it's the best street bike, but at the end of the day, hopping on a supermoto, doing some wheelies, it doesn't get better than that. So let me know what you guys think about the new 690 down below. It was fun discussing this topic. Hope to catch you guys in the next video. See ya.